And here we are, rocking and rolling.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome. Hello. We're here
Finish
on
listening.
time. Stuff's working. Isn't that great?
Oh my God. Hey, second time the charm, right?
Second
And
time's the charm.
I'm live from my holiday. Yeah, I'm live from the beach. If you're like watching the stream and the video, you see that I'm like chilling. So I'm going in the water after this. But let's talk some games first. I'm excited. It has been a interesting week.
Yeah,
I think.
lots of crap, some fun stuff, some very confusing stuff. I don't know. It's been a weird day or a weird week. But you know what? It gives us content, which maybe is better than if it was just boring. So
Yeah,
as
for
a
sure, for
win.
sure.
I guess just to start off, I mean, it has been a crazy week. What have you said you're on holiday. What have you been playing? What have you been like doing in the gaming sphere?
I tried Redfall. That's all you need to know. So
I am so sorry.
no, I think it's interesting. I before we without like getting really into it, but I think it's like interesting to play a game that a lot of people have a lot of thoughts about to see if is it really that bad. So we will discuss that. But apart from that, yeah, still some Jedi Survivor. I finished the story over the weekend, so that was cool. I still am a little lower on it than other people, but I think that's mostly because I'm just like I really like Star Wars, but I'm not like a huge,
Yeah.
huge Star Wars fan, and that's why I like the first game more because even if you did not like were not really into everything Star Wars related, it was still like a really cool story and stuff. And I think it's more like yeah, there's more fan service in this one.
Yeah.
At least from my from what I'm feeling. So no, it's still a great game. But I like went back to Hogwarts Legacy today because of the update that they launched and the PS4 and Xbox One versions are out now. And playing a game at stable 60, it's like because I played Redfall as well, so it's like whoa. It can also be like this. Like Jedi is really I once again, like I said last episode as well, I sometimes forget to turn on the performance mode and then I don't even notice it. Because even the performance mode is like 40 probably. So if you just play quality, it's like 30. So yeah, you're not like, I'm missing something. But apart from that, what about you? You've of course I saw your Redfall video as well, so you went through that
Yeah,
ball of wax as well.
we've had fun doing these like I tried videos where I mean honestly it's like the biggest surprise of last year that these videos do well because like the massive critiques we put weeks into, we'll do like 100,000 or something, and then we do an I tried that we film in an afternoon and it blows up. It's just funny how it works, but we have had a lot of success with it, and I think it's because like it's just a good way to try something without it being too editorial, like you're just like I'm showing you the game. Make up your own mind. Like if you think that the Redfall stuff's overblown, well, let's look at it. Let's try it. Let's experiment with it. And all told, like I think I probably have put in like 5, maybe 6 hours into Redfall total. And to me, it's not like terrible. It's not like, some people were saying Fallout 76 is a better game than Redfall is at launch. And I don't know if I buy that because I just detest everything that Fallout 76 is, but it's just like soulless. It's just there's nothing there. It's the ultimate like vaporware. There's just nothing of substance. It's just there to like burn your time. And for me, I have better things to do. Like I'm sure once it gets patched, once it's like performing great, it's probably like a solid 6.5, 7 out of 10. And some people are going to love playing it with their friends. And it's going to be one of those games for some people where it's all they play. For me, I don't get it. And the brain dead AI is just, once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's infuriating, especially because Deathloop had those issues. But
Yeah. But now it's like the vampires that are supposed to be very scary, and
Yeah.
then they like get stuck in a wall, and you're like, oh, okay.
yeah, especially
Because
like, I was just going to say,
Sorry?
like, am I crazy? Like, vampires can't go out in the daytime, right? That's like a thing. They can't be in sunlight. But
Yeah,
in this
but
game, they're
being-
out because of the eclipse or something, and that makes it okay.
I guess.
It breaks
I don't
my
know.
brain.
I'm more like I don't want to play this game during nighttime all the time, so I'm like not asking questions because also when when recording footage, it's like, is there a day-night switch feature? Because in Far Cry 5, for example, you had to or 6, I think. No, 6 had a change time of day, but in 5 you just had to stand still for like 10 minutes before I could record my footage again. So I hate stuff like that. So I don't mind the vampires. Like, yeah, it's right. It's weird for sure. But that's not like my biggest issue with the game. So we want to jump into it immediately.
Yeah.
Let's do a short. Of course, for people that are joining maybe for the first time, there's a second episode of the Free Roam podcast. We're live streaming it, of course, on your live channel every Friday at 6 p.m. Central European time. That would be 9 a.m. Pacific time, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then 12 p.m. Eastern time. So thanks for joining, everyone in the chat. Really appreciate it. And we want to just discuss the latest gaming topics. And Redfall, we already touched on it. It's one of them, but we also have some other stuff to go over, like more broader Xbox stuff. Mirage, do we finally have a release date or window or whatever? I mean, it's still coming this year, and we haven't seen gameplay, which is kind of wild to think about, but it will change in a month's time with the Ubisoft Forward, of course. Then we also have Spider-Man 2 stuff, so we're kind of like looking into the future. But first, let's look back at this week. Where do you want to kick it off with Redfall? You already touched a bit on it.
Yeah.
But where should we start?
I guess we can just start at the very beginning, which is a very good place to start. I think going into this game, a lot of people weren't expecting it to be amazing. Like, am I crazy? I didn't expect this to be like even 8 or 9 out of 10. I was kind of going into this expecting like a 7, but I don't think anybody expected it to launch like totally broken.
I joked about it last week. I think
Yeah.
that it was not going to be great, but then I was still hopeful because it is Arcane, and of course it's the studio behind Prey. So you of course have Arcane Leon, who are like behind Dishonored and Deathloop, and then Austin, who's the team behind this one. I mean, Prey, I did not fight with it. For me, I did not like the slimy monsters that you had to fight all the time. But a lot of people love that game. So yeah, you always like think, okay, and it's of course the first Xbox first party that they're charging $70 for. And the first, like, there were some already red flags. Like, I know people that were going to preview events, they could only play 90 minutes. Now we know why. Like, that's usually like, if the game is great, then they're like, hey, go ahead, I'm not gonna fly you out here for 90 minutes. But they only did 90 minutes. But yeah, I agree. I don't think we saw this coming. Although it was interesting on Monday, I'm not sure if you saw it, but the embargo was the time that the game went live.
Yeah.
So it was already like May 2nd in many regions, like 12 hours after it was May 2nd in like Australia and stuff, the game went live. So that's already kind of weird. And then the reviews were not even up. And usually when like the game is officially available, you have to have reviews up. If it's like available in one week.
I've got to ask you a question. I've got to ask you, because like I have my own theory on this, and it's always bugged the crap out of me. Some reviewers won't go so far as to say this, but like it seems to me, if you have a game that like is broken and it's garbage, and as we're going to talk about, Phil Spencer did an interview and said that they were doing internal mock reviews and stuff for Redfall, so they had an idea of how this probably would be reviewed, and they chose to put the review embargo like at launch. And to me, if your game's awesome, there is zero reason to do that. If your game is good, there's zero reason to put it on launch, like at that precise moment. The only reason you would do that is if you want to minimize negative press leading up to the launch. So to me, that is like a major, I actually have it, major red flag to indicate. I keep it close. Yeah, I've been using it a lot recently, unfortunately.
Yeah, many red flags.
But it's like a major red flag that they knew that this probably wasn't going to be great. I don't know. Do you see that as like Again, it's a little
thought you were
conspiratorial.
going. I thought you were going in a different direction. That why are they even sending out review copies? Because I think it would
Yeah.
have been better to let everyone just play when the servers went live. I think they could have gone away with it, and
Just
then
shadow drop it kind of thing.
it was like we already knew the game was going live for everyone at that certain time, like in all regions. So, but I agree. Like, it's totally, it's totally weird. I don't know. Like, I think like they want. I think it's pre-orders, right? Because then your pre-order is like the moment the reviews. If you like see the reviews before the pre-order that you paid for like goes live, like you can't cancel it. I think before the game goes live. But if you don't see the reviews yet, then yeah, it will be too late by the time the reviews drop, and I think that has to do with it.
Yeah, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth, like this
Oh
protein
yeah, for
shake.
sure.
It's just like it's
But on the other hand, like I'm saying with like they didn't have to give anyone review codes. I think that would have maybe been smarter.
yeah,
in the
honestly.
end.
I mean,
So,
but rolling with that, there's been a ton of blowback as a result of this. More honestly than I expected. I mean, it was received poorly, reviews weren't great, and it was a title a lot of people were hoping Xbox would hit out of the park. But I mean, it's gotten a lot of pressure put on Xbox execs. People are calling for Phil Spencer to step down. People are like freaking out over it. And Phil Spencer actually did an interview with, was it
kind of funny.
Kind of Funny? Yeah. And it was quite candid, honestly. I was kind of surprised at how frankly he spoke about stuff.
Yeah, for sure. For people who did not watch it, he basically joined like the XCast, that's the Xbox podcast that Kind of Funny does, and basically talked for like 48. Like I listen to Kind of Funny a lot. I actually am wearing a Kind of Funny jacket
Really?
right now, but I like these guys a lot. But they actually had this sort of interview already planned way before even before the CMA blocked the Activision deal, and so. But like Phil could have like been okay this week, not the best time to get in front of a webcam, but he still did it. So I think that's also says a lot. But I am of two minds. Like on one hand, I think it's cool that he is like really acknowledging everything, but on the other hand, I feel that we've heard this for like many years now, and it's time now. Why? How did this happen? When it seems so obvious. Like you say, you're part of the Xbox community. That's what he's like. He's like bringing home all the time. Like now I'm the leader, but I'm a gamer like you as well. If you were really like that, like ground level, then you knew that there were high expectations for this. And turns out that they were like really hands off with this game. They bought Bethesda, and some like of course when you buy like a big publisher. There are some games that are already mid-development, some games that are still launching on PlayStation because they had the deal before you bought them. And with Redfall, it was like, okay, Austin, they probably know what they're doing. Hey, good luck with that game. And turned out that they could have used all the help they could have gotten. And Starfield, on the other hand, was earlier, so they are more hands-on with that. So, which also, on one hand, like a lot of people are saying that Jeff Grubb as well. So. It seems like it's true, but that doesn't make it good. Like you're still asking. I'm like, for a Game Pass game, I was playing this and I was like, I got like some fun out of it. I think it's a cool idea. I like the art style, but yeah, I did not pay anything. Like I have the subscription anyways, right? But for $70, you got ripped off big time. Like that's huge. And then you can come on a podcast and explain the situation. No, it's already too late. This should not have happened.
Yeah.
And he's candid about it. Like he's like, I know that, actions speak louder than words, basically. But yeah, I don't know. They have to deliver this Xbox showcase, which we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah, I think stakes are really high, and I got to give it to it. Like, let's be real, corporate doublespeak is a thing, and very rarely do you see a guy running a multi-billion-dollar business just say straight up, yeah, we screwed up. Yeah, that last generation of consoles, we lost it. Like, very rarely do you see that. And this was paired, like you said, with news that came from Jez Corden on Windows Central.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with him, Jess Corden is a journalist, writes with Windows Central, and I believe a few others, but mainly Windows Central. And in his article that he did, a lot of people saw it as like playing damage control for Xbox, which I guess sort of it was. But more than anything, he just broke down based on interviews he's done and discussions he's had with employees at Microsoft and Xbox that Xbox still approaches ZeniMax as separate. They are trying not to micromanage because they want each of these acquisitions to keep their soul, to not just be another like mini Xbox. They want it to be its own thing that puts games on Xbox. Like that's what they're going for. But I think with Redfall, the big wake up call for them, just like just putting the subheader, fair or not, Bethesda games now reflect on Xbox. And that's the thing, is when Redfall launches, it's no longer viewed as, oh no, Arcane had a bad game. It's now Xbox had a bad game from Arcane. And it's not going to change once you acquire. It's stuck like that. And I understand that Phil Spencer, he's running like this multi-billion-dollar business. He can't be involved in like the minutia. People are like, why didn't Phil try the game and see it was broken and move on? Like, honestly, he's probably pretty busy. I don't think he's sitting down and playing through all of Redfall before giving the green light. He's just not.
No.
And he has, what is it, Matt Booty? Is Booty the... Yeah, he's got him that runs their studios for him, but apparently he isn't even directly involved with ZeniMax's games. So...
No. Turns out that in the Double Fine documentary, I heard this from another podcast as well, from Jeff Grubb, actually, who watched that. They did this whole documentary on Psychonauts 2.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, they're, of course, also owned by Microsoft. And they were like, we need more money. We need to delay. And they were like, damn, how are we going to do this? They went to Matt Booty, and Matt Booty was like, sure, do it. Like, I think that's the problem with this being, like, them being part of Microsoft. And Microsoft, like, if Xbox, like, goes bankrupt tomorrow, they don't care. So I think that's also kind of the issue where PlayStation for Sony is their cash cow. It's their most important thing. So that's why I think they treat it with way more care. That's at least my sort of analysis of why this is happening. Because how is it possible that they have so many studios? They bought them in 2018, and we've still seen so little games.
Yeah.
And all the games that we know are coming, that they announced in 2020, are still super far away. Like, we hear Fable is still in early production. How is that possible? Like, how
Jesus.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? So, but yeah, I think I'm curious. Like, it's true. On one end, I'm happy that they're giving Bethesda the creative freedom and stuff, and they were running a pretty fine business before Microsoft took over, so they knew what they were doing. But I want to ask you this, because I wrote this down in the middle of the week, and I was like, oh, I have to put this in the doc because I'm curious what you think about this. What if Microsoft did not buy Bethesda? Bethesda would be like, what would they have? Because what was the last big financially successful game from Bethesda? Was it Fallout 4? Because if they had Hi-Fi Rush, didn't sell well. It was like a perfect Game Pass game, but that game was in development before Microsoft took over. Yeah. Otherwise, they could not have relaunched it this year. Then you got Deathloop, which had the PlayStation deal. I'm sure they got some money from that. Didn't make a lot of money. I think they had like 5 million players at one point, I think. But that was after it was launching on Game Pass and PS Plus Extra. So yeah, how many people actually bought the game for full price? Yeah. Then you got Tokyo, Ghostwire Tokyo. Nobody bought that game, I think.
Yeah.
ESO is chugging along. Sure, they get some revenue from Fallout 76. Bethesda would have been like even worse than Ubisoft right now. But we don't think about that because they're now under the umbrella from Xbox. Yeah. So, and then they would have put out Redfall right now. Nobody would have bought that if it wasn't part of Game Pass. So I'm like, what was Bethesda's plan before getting acquired? Was this always the plan? Or are they now like, we don't care if the game doesn't sell. It's part of Game Pass, so let's go. And the amount of marketing they put in Redfall, flying everyone out to these events, which doesn't happen that often anymore. And
Mhm.
I like there are like a lot of ads and stuff with cinematic trailers, while the cinematics in the game are like slideshows.
Dude,
So
that was the worst. Like they
yeah,
knew
yeah,
they had so little effort put into all of that. Like let me just pull up the side by side real quick. I just want to show you in case you guys haven't played Redfall, which good for you. They paid for these like super high production value cinematics, which is what Joe Raptor is referring to. So like custom animated, super high cinematic quality. It's just beautiful and everything is super, super detailed. That looks great, right? You'd hope that's in-game cinematics. You'd hope. What the in-game cinematics look like are, no joke, like individual little like freeze, except for the very first one. The very first one looks like this. Swap scenes, and it's like an actual animated intro, so it looks good. But after the first 3 minutes, like nothing will look this good in a cutscene again. Everything else after that,
wasn't this like the first trailer they showed as well? So it's like them reusing the marketing asset.
yeah. After
Yeah, this
that,
was like the trailer.
this is what the cutscenes look like after everything goes through. It's just little silhouettes and vignettes of scenes that are playing out. It's so short-sighted and cheap. It's just weird. So all of this is just
Well, what do you think? Like,
baffling.
was this the plan from Bethesda? What was their idea? Like without Microsoft, or how could they have survived?
Yeah. Well,
Wait for Starfield? I don't know.
I think Wait for Starfield is probably key. But then again, like I don't think any of these companies really expected these games to be received really poorly. But the like Game Pass gives and takes, because Game Pass allows people to try games they wouldn't otherwise try without an added cost, which is awesome. We can try Hi-Fi Rush. I probably wouldn't have spent 20, 30 bucks on Hi-Fi Rush because it's so weird and different from what I normally play. But I'm glad I tried it because it was on Game Pass, so it wasn't an added charge. Same with Redfall. I would not be, if I was not a YouTuber, I would not be touching Redfall with a 10-foot pole or any of these other games they put out. But with Game Pass, it also for Xbox is a phenomenal way to just toss a thing out there, let it make some ripples, and then it can just sit there. And then they have one more game that they can put out in the email, added to Game Pass this month, and they can put it in there. They can also write off any development losses that were incurred from it, which at this point it sounds like Game Pass and Xbox, and this is something I don't hear people addressing, like with these big mega corporations, one of the names of the game is like taking debt and losses and liabilities from this portion of the business and shifting them to cover losses and profits over here to reduce tax liabilities. And for Microsoft, I think they see long-term potential in Xbox, but right now it's just not going that well. So they don't see a big issue with having losses in the short term, as long as they can shift them around and balance the, you know, the other pros that they have going on, the other profits. And so I think it's multi-layered, but like more than anything, I don't think Microsoft expected Redfall to be like an 8 or 9 out of 10. I think they expected it to probably be a 7. In that interview, Phil said they did internal reviews and the game reviewed pretty well internally, which I don't know how that happens, but whatever. But I don't think they expected it to be received horribly and to be roundly mocked and pointed at as one of the worst releases of the year, same year that like Forspoken launches, which is not great.
To be fair, I love Forspoken. Like, I'm okay. Love is maybe, but like,
clip it.
I
Everybody
still look
clip
back
it
at
now.
Forspoken. I still look back at Forspoken, and I'm like, wow, I'm so happy I finished that game, because that game actually had, for me, it had like a soul or something. It was at least like you knew there was this was something they wanted to make. And with Redfall, it's more like the bean counters were like, you got to do multiplayer. Let's do characters so we can sell them afterwards. And yeah, let's do loot and some activities like the nest. And then so you have like these vampire nests, and then you go inside, and then there are some random modifiers. So that is like an endless content. It doesn't work like that because there are only 5 modifiers or something. So, and there are 3 per run. So you see them all the time, all the same ones.
Well, that's a really
So I
good,
think that.
yeah, no,
Sorry?
well, you just said something that like made a light bulb go off, because you're right. Like, Redfall seems like a game that nobody that made it wanted to make. Like, it does seem
Yeah.
like the ultimate chore of a game. And that's just not great. And like, you compare it to some of these other games that are coming out where they are transparently passion projects, or passion projects from the developers making them. Like, I was allowed to go see Immortals of Avium, which is a game coming from the original creative director of Dead Space, not the producer that did Callisto Protocol, but the actual creative producer, and a team of former Telltale devs. And it's like a first-person magic shooter, super unique, super weird and different. But we like heard a speech kind of in a presentation put on by the creative director, and this is something he's wanted to make for like 15 years. This is something he's been like waiting for the chance to do, and now he finally got the chance to do it, and he's like all about it. He loves it. He's so excited. And with Redfall, you just don't see anything like that. The whole game just seems like everybody treated it as a chore, and that lack of passion, gamers can sense. Like, you just get the sense while playing it that not even the devs wanted to do this. So like, not even the
because
devs care about it.
why is every mission the same, and why are there only like a handful of enemies? And yeah, there are really like many things where they cut corners, it seemed. And I think like I really think that with Forspoken, to bring it back to that game, like I really think that they had like it went through a lot of iterations because were going to spend a ton of money on it. And I think a lot of like also the higher ups were like, this has to be like a big thing. And I think that was like the bad approach, because if they made it smaller, I think the idea and the world and I'm just happy that still in this year, and that's why it sucks to see Redfall now fail, Forspoken fail, and also people make a lot of fun of it. Like, and then we see Hogwarts Legacy doing really well. Like, it sends a clear message to all these publishers. We want things that we already know, and make those into games, or we want sequels, and that's why I'm happy that EA is doing the originals with Wild Hearts and now Immortals. And I hope Immortals knocks it out of the park, because, like you said, the ingredients are really there. But yeah, I just think that it's kind of sad. We all kind of lost in that sense that Redfall failed, because if it was actually a success, hopefully more people would be like, hey, a new IP, not a bad idea, right? But yeah, many things went wrong. Do you want to like move on to the broader Xbox picture here?
Yeah.
Because of course, Redfall, it launched, not great. Xbox sort of thing that they want to do, the thing that they're trying to nail, like you also said, like they see the long-term potential of Xbox, and that's not consoles. No, that's having Game Pass everywhere, that you can like turn on a random like smart TV and then immediately play a game. Like, that's pretty big, and as content creator as well, that makes me really excited, because it sucks when you play a game or something and there's like a huge sort of hurdle that people have to go over. Like, even with the Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC, a lot of people were like, I can't play it because I don't have a PS5, and I played the base game on PS4, but the DLC is only on PS5. So bringing the games to more people and just needing a controller and a screen, I think is going to be very exciting, and Xbox is really focusing on that moving forward. So that's going to be great. And what they want is a new AAA great game every quarter. So yeah, and they see the dominoes. That's actually what Phil Spencer has been talking about. They kind of are like lining that up finally after many years. It took them way too long, especially last year when they had no games or no like big games. So yeah, now on June 11th, the Xbox presentation will be the showcase, where we will finally see what they got planned. And last year they did the 12-month thing, where everything you see here is gonna be out in 12 months. We know how that went, because Starfield was part of it, Forza was part of it, Hollow Knight was part of it. The list goes on. So they're probably not going to do that again, and I hope that they are not, because I think it's also good for them to talk a bit more about the future and hopefully give us like a bit better idea of, okay, this is gonna be the rest of this year. 2024 is this. 2025 is this. Okay. Still, they have to deliver because they can make trailers. We saw that for Redfall. The trailers look pretty good, but the game turned out to be crap. So there are still like a lot of, we still have to be like kind of cautious there. But I think this show also with, the Redfall now being a poor launch, with Halo, not doing well out of the gate. They had some wins with Hi-Fi Rush, and I think like getting stuff like, what was that game again? The Russian sort of Bioshock game, getting that on the Game Pass Day
Atomic
One.
Heart, yeah.
Yeah, getting that on the Game Pass Day One, I think was great, good get. So now they have to move forward. So I'm curious. And what was interesting during that XCast sort of interview with Phil Spencer, he always has like a shelf with things behind him, and there was an Alan Wake thing, and we know Alan Wake 2 is going to launch this year from the people over that of course made Control before this and Quantum Break. I would not be surprised if they're doing some sort of deal with Xbox to have that Game Pass Day One. That's my prediction right there. But yeah, I think they're gonna like show a lot of games. So I'm curious, what do you hope to see from this Xbox show, and what do you think they have to do to really win people over?
Yeah, I mean, more than anything, I would like to see Fable, like actual Fable, not a cinematic trailer with like a fairy flying into a frog's mouth. Like, I'd like to see the actual game. And more than anything, like at this point, talk is cheap. Anybody can put together a cinematic trailer like we've seen. And what they just have to do is they just have to get the games out and they have to review well. Like, we all joke about like, oh, well, Sony pays reviewers to get better score. Whatever you want to joke about, I get it. But the reality is that PlayStation is good at making games that review well and that are critically acclaimed. And guess what? That's what players tend to also like playing. And until Microsoft can figure their shit out and start to line it up and actually get releases consistently coming out with those high scores, I just don't think, especially like optically, PlayStation or Xbox will be taken super seriously. Because right now, I was blown away at the overwhelming frustration from Xbox fans, from like I listened to Mr. Matty Plays video, and he does multiple podcasts and stuff, and he covers Xbox specifically, and he was just like straight up done. He's like, guys, come on. Redfall was supposed to be like a big game from an established studio that everybody could get behind, and it's not just like like there was an argument to be made that Deathloop for some people was great, other people was kind of like, yeah, it's pretty good, it's fine. Redfall's bad. There is no middle ground. It's just bad. And at this point, it's just ridiculous that Microsoft cannot figure this out. And whose fault that is, I don't know. I mean, of course, a lot of blame lands on Phil Spencer because he's at the helm, but it's more, I think it has to do with the structure and how they're approaching, like we said, you know, allowing some of these studios to be more independent, not have oversight, not having quality checks. And more than anything, it just is a bad look for Microsoft, like the kings of software, full stop, to not be able to get games out without being broken or having problems.
What would for you be like of course you can like maybe there's like a bigger thing, like if you were to watch you're obviously going to watch it June 11th, what would be like the thing that made you more, or is there anything they can do to make you like more sure that they are doing it right this time? Or is it just going to be like a cool commercial and then we're still fingers crossed at the end of the day?
I think, do you remember that original reveal for God of War 2018 where they played it on stage?
Oh yeah.
And like Cory Barlog actually had the controller and was playing.
I was in that audience.
Really? I'm not,
that
I'm
was
not jealous
E3
at all.
2016, I think.
That's baller. Like, if they did that and they're like, okay, Hellblade, Senua's whatever.
Sacrifice, I think.
Whatever the second one is. The first one's Sacrifice.
Oh, okay.
Hellblade.
Is it just Hellblade 2?
It might be.
Is there like a
Senua's Journey? I don't know. Hold on. Hellblade. This is gonna drive me crazy. Hellblade 2. Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2. Okay, it's Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2. Anyway,
okay.
If they got that up there and they're like, this is running real time, and they have the Xbox on stage, and then they have the wire go into the controller, and it's I think Melina Jorgens or whatever her name is.
Yeah,
they have the
yeah,
actress
yeah,
up there
yeah.
playing the game, and they show it running in real time. It looks amazing. It plays amazing. That to me will be like, okay, I'm paying attention.
That would
now.
be a power play. That would be a good one. Yeah,
Because it's that confidence of, yeah, shit could go wrong. Yeah, this could glitch out. This could bug out. It'd be really
But it's
funny.
probably pre-recorded, right? So
It's sometime, but like that Santa Monica reveal at E3 2016, that was real time in the
yeah,
racing.
okay, but
Trailers
that's a
documentary.
different time now. Like,
You don't think they
I
would
think
try to
all the-
run it if they could get it running on the Series X? You don't think they would try to play it?
I mean,
real
they
time?
could still do it, but I'm not sure if it will be like a real live show where people go to. I don't know actually if it's gonna be like that because E3 is not there, so there won't be like a lot of people there. I think.
Oh, I see what
But-
you mean. Like if it's a pre-recorded
Yeah, yeah.
live broadcast versus
Yeah,
see what
I
you
think so. I think they're going more for the direct style, just like last time, and then have like Pete Hines be on the show, and Todd Howard, of course, for Starfield.
mean.
They are going to do a Starfield Direct directly afterwards, which I think is smart. So it basically says we have a lot for the showcase. Starfield will get its own thing, but things they could show like Perfect Dark. Where is that? State of the Gate 3, Contraband. Do you remember that game? It's from the Just Cause creators.
Oh,
They've been working on that. It's like a heist
Dude, I forgot
type game.
about that.
It was like in the 2020 show, I think. But yeah, it has been delayed. I would not be surprised that like an early 2024 title, like have that be there. Avowed is seemingly further along than it seemed because just like Fable, we only got like that cinematic trailer with the sword and then the sort of magic hand. It's like the new IP from Obsidian. Obsidian really carrying Microsoft with Grounded, Pentiment, and now they already have like a big RPG ready. Kind of crazy. So, and they of course have like some other studios, like the We Happy Few studio has not made a game since that. So they should be pretty far along, I think. So they probably got some big stuff. They still have a collaboration with Kojima that they're probably going to do stuff with, hopefully to show that.
Do you think
and
they
some
landed
surprises.
like any sort of deal with Kojima for another game? Like, do you think they actually landed any exclusivity stuff with him?
I mean, they last year he was doing like he was like actually on the show. He has like this, I think it's a horror streaming only game that he's doing. So he's doing Death Stranding 2 with Sony, and then with Microsoft this sort of a streaming game. Or it was like rumored to be first for Stadia, and now Xbox took over. Or something.
Oh yeah, that's
But
right.
yeah. Yeah. So they still have like something like that, and I hope there are surprises. Like, it's not going to happen, but having something like Skillbound is back, like something that is like what? I think that would be cool. I hope they.
I agree. They gotta do something big, and I mean, in terms of the style of showcase, trailers are fine. Like whatever, I'll believe it when I see it. Because as you said, like they do this big showcase saying everything you're seeing will be out in the next 12 months. Not
They're
really.
not gonna do that again because it didn't work out. I see. By the way, someone saying here about is the new IP. It's in the Pillars of Eternity world IP. Fair enough, but it's still like a new name, of course, for them.
Yeah,
I don't think you
sub-franchise.
have to have played Pillars of Eternity to understand that game. I would say, but
And very, very different in terms of
yeah,
design. Yeah.
gameplay.
But I mean,
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting show. I'm personally, unless you want to like say something more, but I wanted to like go towards the Sony showcase because that's probably going to happen before this.
yeah, I was
Which
just gonna
kinda-
say the last thing. Michael Corder actually brought it up in chat. I didn't even realize while I was thinking out loud that that's pretty much exactly what I was looking for. Like the thing that instilled confidence in me about Hogwarts Legacy, even though I was super skeptical of that game because it just seemed too good to be true, was how candid they were and how they did these reveal trailer streams where they just sat on a couch together in the soundstage, played the game in real time, and just showed it. And you could see how excited the devs were, how passionate they were. They invited YouTubers, even small YouTubers out, like Expecto Go.
Yeah, like huge fans. Yeah, really cool.
huge
idea.
fans.
Yeah.
And they let them revel in the excitement. And that was awesome. And if they do similar things like that, maybe Xbox won't because it's gigantic. But if they did stuff like that, I think that would quell a lot of concerns, at least for somebody like me. But yeah, PlayStation.
I think that would be great. Like do that with Starfield. I think that would be good. And get the 30 FPS bad news out there beforehand.
Yeah,
because
deal
it's
with
probably gonna run at 30, right, in Series X.
Yeah, do you
I
think
don't
they
they're-
like are trying to push it to 60 or do something? Like, why have they not just come out and said it? We're gonna find out. Like, why not just
Yeah,
get it out
maybe
there?
it would have been. I don't know if you want to like. I don't know what the messaging would be, but maybe you have the show first, like have the gameplay showcase first, and then a few weeks later say it, because then more people are like, okay, but the gameplay still looked great, so I don't mind it that much.
Get people excited because then it brings them here instead of getting them
Yeah.
down here and then try to pull them back.
And then they might not even like check out Red Starfield Direct because they're like, I'm not interested because it's 30. Or otherwise, you have to chat during that whole stream, be like, oh, I'm not gonna play 30.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the idea. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, Sony showcase. I mean, there are some Mortal Kombat like 12 rumors already. Seems like Sony got the deal for that. And yeah, they of course they haven't had a show since September 2021. That was when we saw Wolverine and Spider-Man 2. So yeah, they have been quiet for a really long time, and they don't have to do anything because the console is selling like crazy, and it wasn't available for a really long time. Starting, of course, this year, you can luckily go out and buy one. I saw people in the chat mention that as well. But yeah, they now finally have to market the console because it makes sense for them. And yeah, there are a lot of studios that we don't know a lot about. There was also someone, Shinobi602, who has been in the gaming industry for a long time. He was actually one of the first people to leak Horizon. He was like, Gorilla's doing a new game with a red-headed huntress, and everyone's like, yeah, sure. And then a
Like,
few
okay, dude.
years, yeah, from Killzone to that, yeah, sure.
Who would
and then
do
a few, a few years later, it was true. So he says, I don't know what Sony's exact plans are when it comes to a showcase or state of play and all that, but I know a good amount of teams are at the point where things are ready to be shown, because those were the rumors that they wanted to do a show like that last year, but the teams are just not ready, and that's what really is good for the industry and for all these companies without E3, is that they can wait and have everyone not work like crazy hours to get an E3 demo ready. No, they can be like, oh, we're gonna do it in May because everyone is ready now and it makes sense for us. So Spider-Man, of course, launching in September. To already grab like another news article, they're starting the marketing a bit with a free comic book that you can get on Comic Book Day, which is very soon actually. Maybe people in the chat know the exact date for free Comic Book Day. But yeah, they're basically like having a comic go up about the story from the first game, Miles Morales, till the second game, because there was some time in between. So that should be interesting, and it should be a free digital download as well. So yeah, we're gonna see way more from Spider-Man 2. I think they're gonna do. Remember that the demo, that the first gameplay for Spider-Man. I think it was also during a live show at E3 where he was like hanging on the crane, right? And then in the sort of yeah, that was like the first time we saw actual gameplay. I would not be surprised if they show something like that, like 8 minutes of pure PS5 exclusive Spider-Man 2 gameplay, and I think that would be crazy. So yeah, that would be one thing. Anything you would like to see from Sony? I can like list some studios that might be ready to show in a moment.
For me, the one I'm really intrigued by is the Naughty Dog game, The Last of Us Factions. Just the concept art they've shown is intriguing, and like the thought of possibly like, I don't know if it's going to be like an extraction shooter or if it's going to be like a weird hybrid between extraction shooter and then like a battle royale. I'm not sure anybody is really sure what it's going to look like. But the idea of having that with Naughty Dog graphics and like The Last of Us Part 2's gameplay mechanics gets me pretty excited. That gets me very, very interested, because that could be something that's truly different that we haven't seen from anybody else. And again, in an age of just broken releases, that Naughty Dog polish is a feature. I mean, that is a
For the
big
Last
deal.
of Us Part 1 on PC.
The one thing I'm hanging on to with that is that they didn't technically do it, but then they also did. Like they were involved,
Yeah,
but not really. It's
they
really,
released it still,
yeah,
so yeah.
it still reflects
It's
on
on
them.
Yeah, yeah.
But
No,
they
but I
have
get it.
plausible
I do get
deniability.
it.
Yeah.
What do you think the game will be though? Do you think it will be only PvP or free to play even? What do you think they're going for?
I can't imagine they do free to play because frankly,
No.
I don't think they need to. I think they can charge
No.
$70. People will pay it no matter what. And as for like what exactly it looks like, I have to imagine after all this time, there's probably like a few different modes. Like this clearly is not going to just be the factions mode from back in the day. I think this is going to be something way more elaborate, way bigger. And even if you look at just the like the artwork that they put out,
Yeah, with the two characters on the sort of balcony, right?
Yeah.
Looking over the San Francisco. Yeah.
it's really really interesting. And they've said like we look at this artwork and it like guides us in the development and all this, and it's really confusing what they mean by it, but like you look at this, it's expansive. There seems to be like a gas or a sandstorm, which makes me immediately think battle royale because it closes the zone. But then you also see infected down below, so there's going to be infected in this as well. Is it like an
Extraction based? Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That's what.
where you're like trying to get to the
I've-
boats? Maybe, I don't know.
They are saying that is going to be a story as well. So I personally think they're going for like a co-op mode that they are maybe that you can finish, and maybe the levels are replayable with certain modifiers or whatever. And I think they're gonna do like a PvP mode, and then maybe add like new levels to the co-op, and then have like the PvP with new maps and stuff. So that's because then I think you can ask $70 for it. If it's only like an extraction based game, then I don't think you can get away with it. And maybe like I think it would be wild if they did one part free, and then like the kind of what Call of Duty is doing now. We got the Warzone free, and if you want like the premium game, you can still buy that as well.
Oh yeah, like maybe the multiplayer portion PvP or something is free, but then the story
Yeah.
mode you pay $70 for. and
Yeah,
then
I
you
think
get
that
perks,
yeah, I think that could be the way to go. But it will be interesting, and Sony is going really hard on the live service, but we haven't really seen that. Of course, Gran Turismo is getting all of car updates, so they of course have MLB The Show, which also has like the sort of service going. But I personally am really curious what they're gonna do with the Horizon multiplayer game. I'm not sure if you saw the leaked concept art.
I don't think so.
I don't
no.
think you should like look it up here, but like
I
show
won't
it to
pull it
people.
up. I'm intrigued.
But if you're like watching, you can like very easily look it up.
Yeah, if you want to do it to yourself.
yeah, just look it up. It's very interesting. So it's like a Monster Hunter type game, but they are seemingly going for a more cartoony art style. It was like a leaked art from like you're seeing it? Yeah. that face is priceless. Yeah. It was like an old artwork though, like June 2020, I think. So a lot has probably changed, but it does show you that Sony is also going, because it kind of looks like Fortnite. Let's it kind of looks like Fortnite, but hunting a Thunderjaw. And yeah, it shows you that Sony is they want that money as well. Like they see how much they make from the skins. Like a skin is $20 or something in Fortnite. And like a God of War Ragnarok was 200 million to make, and that was $70. So you need to sell 3 skins for one God of War, while these skins cost nothing to make.
Yeah.
So I think they're doing the math, and they're like, we should probably do something like that as well.
Yeah.
So they're going to try, and the Horizon is going to be interesting. I really hope they know that they should not go for that Fortnite audience. They should really focus on people like us, like 30-plus-year-old. Or like,
well, the older
and 20.
guys have money. That's the thing you got to remember.
Yeah.
The
and I
kids
think,
don't have money. The adults do.
No. They're the credit card from their parents at one point will hit a limit. So like that's what made me scared. But it also maybe is because they also want to do like a mobile spin. I don't know. I'm just like spitballing, but I hope they are really going for, because Horizon looks amazing. So having a multiplayer game that looks like that, and hunt down these machines with other people would be great. Yeah, we have like a ton of. They have like Haven Studios, of course,
Yeah.
from a lot of like the Ubisoft Montreal veterans that worked on Assassin's Creed. What's her name again? Who's leading the studio? Who was like the
Oh.
producer on the first Assassin's Creed?
Um,
Maybe someone in the chat knows. And I see people here say, fingers crossed for Ghost of Tsushima 2. Like, I think that's a lock. The game launched in 2020. They did the DLC, of course, Iki Island in 2021. It's been 2 years. They work pretty fast, Sucker Punch. So I think they're gonna at least show it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the clash of the Japanese RPGs, because what if Ghost of Tsushima 2 and Assassin's Creed Red launch around the same time? That would be crazy, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's different games, but I mean, it's also Ghost of Tsushima took a ton of inspiration from Far Cry and from other Ubisoft titles. So, yeah, it'll be really interesting. Blackjack says Jade Raymond.
Yeah,
who
you're
thinking
right.
of? Yeah.
Check. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thanks everyone for noting. Yeah, so Jade Raymond, like, of course, she hasn't done like something big in a long time, because she kind of like got the short end of the stick all the time. She was going to Stadia and I think working at EA on Star Wars, or no, that was Amy Hennig. Like, I think she was at EA though. Like, she hasn't made like a big game in a long time. So now with her own studio, seems like they're chugging along. So a lot of stuff happening from Sony. That could be interesting. I'm curious what the Days Gone Sony band is doing. What are
Yeah.
they? We know they're doing like a new IP. Days Gone launched in 2019, so you would hope that they're already somewhere there. We saw a tease in the PlayStation TV commercial that they did earlier this year with like a female Nathan Drake style game. Like,
Yeah.
of course, the daughter from Nathan Drake.
Do you think they
That
would have
would be
passed
cool.
it off to them? Do you think they'd just
There
like
were
give
actually
them?
rumors about that, that Sony Band was gonna do that after Days Gone 2 was not greenlit, because
They've
that
already
didn't,
worked on
like,
Uncharted. They worked on
they
Golden Abyss
lost,
or whatever.
yeah, Golden Abyss, the PS Vita game. Yeah, that's right. But they're doing really a new IP.
Hmm.
So it's not Uncharted. I think another studio is doing it, and I'm curious which one it is, because it's not Naughty Dog. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a really interesting show. Also, just looking at the like, there are going to be a lot of what is this Fortnite style trailers, I think.
Buckle
which is
up,
gonna be,
everybody.
yeah, buckle up. And
Hopefully
they're
they have
probably going
enough like AAA gangbuster, like holy
Oh,
crap
yeah.
games to balance it out. Because I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
think
they
like
will.
if their keystone reveal is like a Fortnite looking Horizon game, I do think people would freak out.
I think they're gonna
but
end with Ghost 2. I think that would be like such a banger ending.
do you
Like,
think they end with Ghost 2, or do you think they do like
Yeah.
some super early reveal from like whatever Naughty Dog's thing is after Factions? Or do you think they like go and try to show something huge that gets people super hyped, but that's really long, like a long ways away? Or do you think they just play it safe and show stuff that's more like further along?
I think something like that would be like what the game is from Cory Barlog. Like, he did help with God of War Ragnarok, but he is doing his own IP. So
Do you think they rebooted that sci-fi game that got canceled? back
Yeah,
in, like,
yeah. They were
2015?
like, after Ascension, they were working on that. I think it's something else though, because really, Corey was like, after 2018, I want to make my own game, and I think it was probably like, we want you at Sony Santa Monica, we will do whatever, because he could of course still help with Ragnarok, and he was like, okay, but I want to make my own game, and they're like, sure, you proved yourself.
Yeah.
So having a tease for that would be such a power move, although that game is probably still far away. And I would not be surprised if they're gonna do a Miles Morales and Atreus game this year, something like that.
Mhm.
It's like, what, a new God of War this year already, and then it's like Atreus solo game with Angry Boda, something like that.
Yeah, something a little
Those are my
smaller in
kind of-
scope, something like
Yeah,
like
$50
Assassin's
bucks.
Creed Mirage, something a little bit different, right?
Well,
Yeah, whoa. See that transition, that little segue?
yeah,
Was
yeah,
that good?
let's do it. Let's do it.
Speaking of Assassin's Creed Mirage, which by the way, Jorep, just so you know, every time we refer to anything regarding Assassin's Creed Valhalla, we have to say, using our soundboard,
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
the Assassin's Creed Valhalla thing from whatever award show. So it's like a whole meme at this point. But yeah, Mirage apparently, it got, I believe it was a GameStop employee found it on a list of upcoming releases, and it was slated. Let me see if I can open the image. It was slated for sometime
I got like the link as well if you want it.
Oh yeah, link would be great. I can't get it to pull up for some reason. Yeah, slated for August at some point, which is sooner. Which is actually right about in line with what people were expecting.
Yeah, it was leaked a lot. So of course this is going to be you can use the soundboard again.
Oh, sorry.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So it was going to be a DLC for that game, but then they were like, wait, we can also turn this into its own game. So then they did that, gave the developers more time, but it was first slated for like early this year, and then I think May, and now it's like August. So they have been pushing it a lot, but I totally believe that it was August at one point, because that's what Tom Henderson has been saying for a really long time, and he has, of course, a really good track record. And it's interesting that it now like visually shows up in this, like if you're like an audio listener, there's like really this sort of calendar from a GameStop employee that he like looks up in the computer, and it's like Final Fantasy 16, of course, June 22nd. I think there are some other games there as well, and then it's like Mirage August. Yeah. And we never heard like an official date, or like it was always just 2023. But things can still change. It's just weird to have an Assassin's Creed in August. Unless they have like Avatar in October or November and they don't want those games to fight. Although on the other hand, they had Watch Dogs Legion, Valhalla, and Immortals in like a few weeks apart. So they don't seem to mind that much. I still think it's gonna be like an October release because makes more sense. Give it a little more time. They really have to get this right. It's kind of like I wouldn't say it's like Starfield weight on the shoulders, but I do think that if this game is like a 6 or 7 or like a 7, I don't think 7 is good enough. They really have to show the old school AC audience that they still know what it means to make a game like that.
They get it.
And there are already things like working against it because it's based on Valhalla's engine. Like, it's not based on the older games. Of course, the Anvil engine evolved over time, but it was at the core the RPG, but they just stripped those things out and added some new tools and stuff. So I'm really curious. I hope it's not gonna be I don't know if you remember that. We, of course, with did you do the soundboard? You were like using.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I'm not.
I thought, oh wow, we were so in sync, but but like for that game, they of course had the gameplay reveal trailer. Remember that? It was like 1 minute, and they were hyping it up, and then we saw nothing. But then when the gameplay actually was revealed, everyone like was looking at that cinematic trailer, and they were like, "Oh, this is gonna be great." And they showed the gameplay, and it didn't look that exciting. I hope Mirage is different, though. I really hope they can hit that first impression, which they haven't had for a long time. Like Odyssey also didn't like set the world on fire during the reveal. Origins, I think, did pretty well, but Odyssey was like, this is just an Origins reskin. We had this game last year. Of course, it turned out to be way more than that. And Valhalla kind of, didn't work out well. So I hope they can nail it. And I wanted to bring up this tweet as well, or like the image. Maybe I can like show you that tweet from Andy Reloads, other YouTuber. I don't know like if he knows stuff. I know that he sometimes knows stuff, but he's like very like sure and kind of teasing that he thinks, quote unquote, that it's October 12th.
Oh, really?
And I put that in the doc as well. Not sure if I can like really quickly
Let's see. Oh, here
find it here. Yeah. And like that is like I think a Thursday. And let me see. Every previous Ubisoft game has launched on a Thursday. Like the Skull and Bones release date before it got delayed was on a Thursday. Mario and Rabbids launched on the first day, and I just think October makes more sense. So I wanted to just throw that out there. Maybe it's just like a guess, but why use that sort of image there? And I don't know.
Yeah.
We will see.
Andy Reloads. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he makes awesome content for sure.
Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah, we will see. Assassin's Creed Mirage.
We'll see. I mean, I'm still like, my skeptical hippo eyes are going crazy with Mirage. I'm like, sorry, I almost screwed up on it. After
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I was like, okay, I'm not sure they know like who we are, like who the real hardcore fans are anymore. Like, especially because they advertised it. They said with the lead up to the game's launch that they were bringing back, like social stealth. They're bringing back, a lot of these things that just were not really there. And like it also, the parkour has steadily gotten stripped down over the years, which is just baffling to me. And so I'm just burnt out. Like
Yeah, no, I get it, and I already see people fall into the same traps where I think one developer once said that they took inspiration from Unity or something, and now everyone is running with the fact that the parkour will be like Unity, and I'm like, no, don't
Not what he
expect
said.
that, please. Don't do that, or that the streets will be as full as Unity. Like, don't expect that, please. Have low expectations, and hopefully they can hit it. But if it was going to be this revolutionary game, Ubisoft would not have charged $50 for it. So temper your expectations. I really think this will be like a fun,
do
game.
you really think like
finish in a weekend, and then the real wait begins for Red.
Yeah, it's a good point. Like, do you really think that Ubisoft all of a sudden is going to become like super generous, just give you this amazing game for cheap? Like, come on, dude. It's
No.
I agree. I think that the stakes are pretty high. People's perception of Assassin's Creed has been dropping precipitously. I feel like with Assassin's Creed Origins, there was a little uptick where people were getting like, okay, this is different, but this is at least like an actual open world adventure game, as opposed to like, even Syndicate, which was kind of like half in the past and half in this new style. So it's like, okay, you're doing something new. And then Odyssey is massive. Its biggest problem was that there was too much there. And then
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
was just a game I would insist. I know you've made a ton of content for it and are more familiar with it, but like for me, that game represented like every bad element of Origins and Odyssey focused and expanded over an entire game. Like, I really detest Valhalla personally. And I mean, I know a lot of people love it, but then I think a lot of people also agree with my perception of it, which more than anything just means that Ubisoft has a split fan base and they got to figure out a way to make both groups happy. And that's what they're trying.
And with that showcase, I think they were really like, yeah, but we know Red is gonna be for the Odyssey and Valhalla fans and Origins, and we hope with Mirage to appeal to the older fans, and then we're going to hopefully create a new community with Hexe, or that will be a completely different type of Assassin's Creed game. Then we have the multiplayer. So I think they're listening, because Valhalla's biggest problem was that it was a jack of all trades, master of none. Like, it tried everything, but it failed at everything. Because I agree, like, I think a lot of people who like Valhalla, if you would ask them, hey, do you want another Valhalla? They would be like, no, let's strip it down
Please
a bit,
no.
right? I don't want to like spend 100 hours to get to the cool cutscenes at the end.
Yeah.
Because that's what it felt like.
Well,
it will be very interesting.
AJ asks an important question. Was AC Valhalla, was that a success? Now, from what I recall,
Huge.
it was
success.
like financially it had the highest revenues of any Assassin's Creed game in history. Revenue does not equal profit. They did not say it was the highest, like the most profitable Assassin's Creed
In the
game
end, it
ever.
was, but it was also the
Okay.
longest supported one. So
Yeah.
it was like Valhalla and Odyssey, and Assassin's Creed 3 sold the most copies in its launch week, but Valhalla made more money because of the microtransactions and the more expensive editions and stuff. So Assassin's Creed 3 is still like the the best selling one, I think. Um, in the launch week at least, or and then the other ones just made more money. But because Valhalla was supported for 2 years and Odyssey had a pretty long post-launch as well, you can of course make more money over the course of that time. So,
I just
but I
had,
agree,
a-
like it was super successful. But I do think the sort of mind share on Assassin's Creed went down after Valhalla. While actually, I think after Odyssey, sure, the hardcore old school fans did not like it, but that's why I think Valhalla's reveal was so popular, because a lot of people came from Odyssey and they were like, I want more of this. I love this new style of game. And I'm curious what will happen with Red, if the hype will be the same.
Yeah, I think one of the frustrations was that Valhalla felt in many ways like Odyssey, but like I said, the like more unoriginal and boring parts of Odyssey were the entire game of Valhalla. So, like for example, they had this amazing naval combat system in Odyssey that's totally stripped in Valhalla. It's just gone. And I get it, thematically it wouldn't make sense to have Ivor like leading, whatever those ships are called in the Mediterranean. It wouldn't make sense. I get it, but it doesn't change the fact that coming from Odyssey to this game that doesn't have that system feels in a way like a step back. And then also my other frustration was I just think that England at that time is a terrible setting for a video game, because it's just large fields that all kind of look the same, and then some coastal areas. And people are like, well, but that's what England looks like. Like, I get it. I understand that. It doesn't change the fact that it's just at that time, there's very little, like, London is like barely built up. There's very little to climb in terms of cities. One of my favorite things in Assassin's Creed games are those big cities to explore and climb and navigate through. And even like Origins and Odyssey had that. They weren't as big, at least it seemed, as, previous games like Syndicate or Unity or some of those other ones. But at least it was like, there were cities there. In Valhalla, there's very little. And so I'm just, all told, I'm really interested, and I've got my eye on Mirage. And I think a lot of other people do as well. And we'll see if they can pull it off. Which team is doing it? Which group is doing it?
It's the Bordeaux team who made the Wrath of the Druids DLC.
Oh.
Yeah, they got a ton on their plate.
Yeah.
I see Michael, by the way, saying still remember seeing your Iron Man video pop up for Valhalla. I was so confused. There were crazy things, but I'm like, I was really, because there was like an Helix armor set that was basically Iron Man with the Unibeam.
Yeah.
And they actually removed it, probably because, or like they changed it because Marvel was like, hey, you're not paying us for that. But like many crazy things have happened in AC, so I'm not like, that was like the first real thing. But I think what they're now doing to kind of round this topic out is what you're saying. Like, it also did not make sense for Valhalla, or in a way, like Valhalla started before Odyssey shipped. So and it is a different team. So so they're kind of working on the same type of game, but they're not taking any learnings from each other. And I actually think, and I hope it got better, but that there was some sort of, especially after Odyssey, like Montreal really thinks that they are the Assassin's Creed studio, and then Odyssey comes out, and a lot of Assassin's Creed fans are, this is not Assassin's Creed. They had, of course, the whole DLC with like the child and how that. Not sure if you remember that. That was like,
it was a little weird.
Legacy. Legacy of the First Blade. So they, and of course, just the whole like story in Odyssey. It was not an Assassin's Creed game at its core. So I also think that Montreal was like, yeah, we're not gonna talk to them that much because we know what we're doing, and that's why you don't see a lot of learnings from Odyssey in Valhalla, and that's why I'm excited that Quebec, the Odyssey team, will now be the RPG team moving forward. They will all, so that means we get less of them. The ones that we get will be supported for longer, but it also means that all the learnings from Red will be in the next game, instead of getting a game like Valhalla that tuned everything down. And they were like, why is this system that was in Odyssey that they added post-launch and improved, why is that still not in Valhalla at launch? Or why do we have to wait a year for Transmog or whatever? So a lot of things like that. Do you think thoughts on Immortals Phoenix Rising? I see that's also from Quebec, of course. They are probably doing another one of those. That's my prediction that they're gonna reveal that this summer.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it. I mean, the inspirations were clear. Let's just say that. But I thought it was quirky. I thought it was funny. I thought it probably leaned too heavily into the puzzles. I thought like if they did more like variety with boss encounters and stuff like that, that would be better. Because the game for me was like clipping along at a good pace, and then it would just slow to a crawl whenever it went into one of those like puzzle realms that they would do. But other than that, like I thought it was pretty fun, and I think if they doubled down on it, they could have some success. It was kind of screwed from the beginning because it was originally like Gods and Monsters, and then Monster Energy Drink sued them, and so they had to change the name. Isn't Monster Energy suing another group? Like they're suing Monster Hunter or something over the same thing?
Really?
No,
they
there was like some lawsuit recently, I think.
yeah, but I don't think it was Monster Hunter, but I don't know. Yeah, I did see it, yeah.
Or was it Pokemon? I think it was Pokemon. Yeah. It was Pokemon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, either way, yeah, we will see. I mean, they turned that game around in like a record time. Like Odyssey launched in 2018. It is the same team. They launched a brand new open world game 2 years later. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And they wanted to make Gods and Monsters in like way shorter time. So they're now like, if the game launches this year, 3 years, Immortals. Again, I think it's gonna happen. Or yeah.
And this is like, you gotta, you know, we bash Ubisoft a lot. They ask for it a lot, but we bash these companies a lot. But you gotta give it to Ubisoft. They are able to create some massive games with crazy systems in comparatively a pretty short amount of time, compared to like a lot of these other studios. Like Redfall's in development for years and years and years and years.
5 years.
Yeah, a much smaller team, to be fair. I mean, if you had 3,000 employees working on a game, you'd hope you could get it out in time. But it you know, they go big. They go big.
Yeah, but they did lose their touch though, because since 2020 they've only launched Far Cry 6 as like another one of those big games.
I think that was mostly COVID, wasn't it? Like, because I talked to
but
somebody
still,
who
like,
was like,
what is the next one? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they took it as an opportunity to like refocus and do brainstorming sessions. Maybe they just had tech issues, you know, because I spoke to somebody who worked, I don't think he's at Ubisoft anymore. I think he moved, but at the time I spoke with him, he was at Ubisoft, and he was saying that like they basically did nothing for like 9 months when COVID hit.
Oh my god!
And so I'm like, yeah, no wonder all of the games kind of staggered.
Yeah, that sucks. But I don't think Ubisoft wanted not to have like a new Assassin's Creed for like this is the longest time we've been without an Assassin's Creed. And sure you can count Mirage for this year, but it's not really like a mainline game. Well, so it will be 4 years.
Or do you think it's like, because my understanding was that they went into Valhalla expecting it to be supported for like, you know, 2 years basically, and that was going to be their new strategy: have this massive game and then support it for 2 years, and then massive game, support it for 2 years. And as we've seen, like you just mentioned, it was profitable. They made money. So maybe it wasn't that bad of an idea. You know, it seems weird.
But they did that though. Valhalla was for 2 years.
Yeah.
And now there's nothing. So if that was the plan, then yeah, and COVID probably like shake that up. But was
seems like
Red
that next
for?
Yeah, was Red planned for sooner for this year?
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
No, we will see, but they're getting the ball rolling. I think the Ubisoft Forward event will be interesting, and I'm happy that X-Defiant is getting a lot of love. Like, I think that's cool. That's cool. Like that was a game that. Yeah, I actually did. It's like the Call of Duty style game, of course, with like a lot of Ubisoft characters. It's like I think if they're able to launch it before the next Call of Duty comes out, I think that would be a power move, because afterwards it probably gonna be harder. But I think like setting expectations right. They're communicating really well. It has like 14 maps or something that look all really cool,
Yeah,
and the
Jesus.
gunplay is really solid. So
Yeah.
I hope they can nail it. I hope they find an audience with that game.
It seems like they are. I mean, from everybody that I've spoken to, I didn't get to try it. From everybody I spoke to, though, that has played a lot of it during the tests, it's like super twitchy, super punchy, movements incredibly tight. It's everything they want modern COD games to be, except it's a Ubisoft game. So I think if they nail the launch of this, they got good server infrastructure, they've got all the support there, good maps, it could actually dominate, you know, the streaming charts for a little while. They'll probably will pay, you know, some of these guys like Aiden or Nick Merckx and Tim and Doc and all of those guys to play it for a week or something. And I think that's the best thing they could do. Because as we saw with like Apex Legends, there are games that can launch out of nowhere and take on Call of Duty and Fortnite. Like you can do it. The game just has to be good.
Enough. Yeah, and it's free. Like that's of course the huge thing. Like the sort of arena style shooter from Call of Duty still is paid. So they still have like that sort of window. It's like funny. I'm looking at the stream right now, and it looks like you're like playing and you're really good.
Oh yeah, yeah, guys. Today we're playing some XDefiant. I'm just not even gonna look.
It really looks like you're welcome to my new XDefiant video. Today I'm gonna have a nuke ready and stuff like that.
Don't you love this AV1 streaming too? People in chat, are you watching in 4K 60? Isn't that great? Streaming 4K 60. It's what we tried to do last week that caused the stream.
Finally,
to,
my
like,
4K webcam, it finally pays off.
Finally pays off.
I'm not sure if I'm even like showing you 4K. I think I'm like 1080. I'm not sure what Discord does. But should we like, by the way, end it because I still have some other stuff to do as well.
Yeah,
so,
no, this is good. Does anybody, real quick, we'll wrap up. Anybody in chat, if you have any questions, drop them in chat real quick. We'll try to respond to any that pop up real quick. Closing thoughts while those questions come in. What are you going to be playing this coming week? What are you going to be tackling?
Ooh.
Of course, that you're allowed to talk about. Yeah.
I'm actually like, I think I'm going to go dark a bit, like focus on some other like media, because I think Diablo will kind of consume my life when it launches. So I think I'm going to focus on maybe, I don't know, I don't have like a TV show on the list either, so I don't know, I haven't actually thought of that, but I have no like game on the horizon. I wanted to do maybe Zelda, but I think I'm gonna enjoy just not covering a game for a bit because this year has already been pretty crazy. And then Diablo makes more sense in Final Fantasy 16. And of course, I'm excited for all the shows that are coming, the Xbox show and the Ubisoft show, the Sony show. So I think I'm not sure. Maybe I will pick up some older games. I was like thinking of like finishing Redfall because I'm probably close to finishing it, but
Maddie said he got through it in 12 hours. Xbox claims it's like 22, but Maddie said it was 12.
No way.
Yeah.
I really broke the game. I had like unlimited legendaries. And
I
stuff.
saw your video of how to break Redfall early on. It's like you slide
Yeah,
out.
it was actually really, really fun to do that. So I actually made the game more fun for myself. And now other people that spend the $70 or still want something new to play can make the game more fun for themselves as well. That
totally
was the goal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I
So
mean,
no, I don't know. What about you?
I think I'm gonna be playing. I've got some video scheduled. I'm gonna go back and try Breath of the Wild again, just to get refreshed with it before Tears of the Kingdom on like next Friday, I believe.
Yeah,
so
crazy. Yeah.
we'll do that. I got the chance to play Warframe's new expansion. That was trippy, but pretty cool. What else is there coming up? Oh, tons of Jedi Survivor. I'm probably going to go through that a second time, work on the critique for that. But this second time, I think I'm going to try playing on PC and just dealing with it. So we'll try that. But yeah, it's like, I don't think I'm going to be covering it or making many videos on Tears of the Kingdom, especially with Nintendo being insane recently. So,
Yeah.
that'll probably just be for me, like you were saying, just something to to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah. That's good sometimes as well. You got to pick your battles sometimes.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. And
Unless
it's important to
unless
enjoy.
there's probably gonna be like unless it like really runs poorly, then I think you will jump on the.
Just an actual headache nonstop.
Yeah.
It's migraine simulator. Yeah. I don't know what PB fluff is, Brandon. Is that like the marshmallow spread? Is that a thing? I don't know. I like PB&J. I'll stick with that. Let's see. Oh, they dropped a story recap. Oh, that's nice. Nintendo. Nice of them.
Story.
For I'm assuming Breath of the Wild, like a story recap to get ready for Tears of the
Again,
Kingdom.
does it have a story? Like, I'm just running around,
Dude,
and then I die in the desert because I'm too hot, and I'm like,
the way it should be.
What? Yeah.
I said in the video, Breath of the Wild doesn't really have a story. You would have thought that I like sacrificed a baby kitten on video. Like people lost their minds. It's like forbidden to say. Same thing with like From Software games. If you get up and you say Elden Ring, who gives a shit? Like who cares about the story? You're fighting bosses and it's pretty. Like that's all most players are doing. But if you say that, the FromSoft sycophants will jump down your throat. Same with Kojima. The fanboys are a whole other beast. Anyway, what else? Any other questions jumping out to you? Is Luke drinking a Premier protein caramel shake? No, this is the coffee cappuccino flavor. So yeah, skipped breakfast. That's what I'm doing. It's good stuff.
See, someone asking about Flintlock. I'm not sure if you know about that game, but that was also like in the showcase from Xbox for the next 12 months, but it's still not out. But it looks pretty cool. It's like a third-person open-world game as well.
What was it called?
But Flintlock and then something. It's like yeah, it's pretty cool.
I don't know. So many of those games I just like totally forgot about because they revealed them and then we haven't seen anything about them in years. Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn.
Yeah.
Is this it? Yeah.
So I think it will be like at the Xbox show. That's my bet on it.
Yeah.
If we've seen Barry, says Booper. I watched like a few episodes, but I should probably give more of a shot. It's like an HBO 30-minute per episode. It's gonna
I've heard great
sort
things
of
about
like-
it.
Yeah, same. And it's like the final season as well, so might check it out. But I don't know. The first few episodes didn't really grab me.
Is the Star Wars patch any good? I tried the Star Wars patch on PS5. It's like update or version 1.003, I think. Some people reported it fixed their bugs. I haven't really had bugs in my playthrough. My problem's been really low resolution, stuttering, that kind of thing. But I don't think I've had... Like I saw Michael, Legacy Killer HD. He said that there was a big boss fight encounter at like towards the end of the game, which I think I know which one he's talking about. It's like if you saw a screenshot of it, it would spoil a lot. And it would take like a really cool reveal and really cool like shift and just ruin it for you. So he can't even share a screenshot. But he said like for most of the boss fight, like the boss didn't spawn. And so it just wasn't there. And I haven't had problems like that. So for some people, it's fixed the bugs. Performance-wise, it's still...
I made a video on it if you want to watch it.
Yeah. Release date.
Well, that...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for the Star Wars update.
That all looks great. Like we said at the top, guys, new podcast show. We are on all of the major podcasting sites. So whether you're on iTunes, podcasts, Spotify, whatever, we're probably on there. This will get syndicated
for
there.
watching live as well.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see like a lot of good feedback. And of course, if you have anything you want, like we're just like kind of free styling right now, but we will probably get into a groove of like a sort of thing that we want to do each week. But now just going over the news. There's we can easily talk for hours. So
yeah, easily. It's a problem.
Yeah. So thanks all for joining. And next week we will be back with Zelda. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna play it. I think.
Yeah. I guess I'll have to talk about it then.
Yeah.
I'll take this burden on for the sake of the show. I guess I'll play the new Zelda game. Okay.
Yeah.
No, this will stay here, Brandon. This will stay on the live channel. There will be clips cut up from the show as we go through. And like as we said, the audio version will be syndicated everywhere. So it'll be awesome. As always, if you guys have any feedback, any advice, make sure to send that our way, Discord or Twitter, whatever works for you. We are always looking to grow and learn. Love that sort of thing. But thanks for chilling with us. Thanks for hanging. We'll be back next week. Same time, same channel, same place. Much love, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.